Well, this is a hilarious mess. What a mess. Hi, babe. I'm glad you're the first one that showed up. What a mess. Hi, babe. I'm glad you're... Yeah, Matthew, I'm glad you're here. What's up? Wow, this... Okay, cool. Matthew Sable. Many times you've commented, and many times I've responded. I'm going to turn this down. Wow, this is very strange, but here we are. I have no clue how to live stream. I don't know what to say or what to do or any of that. And the reason that it's very late, well, I was doing something, but the reason it was very late was I went through about 16 different setups in order to get this very basic thing to happen. I don't know. My fiance's here. That's neat. Hi. Hi, Nori. That's my fiance's mom. So it's weird. I've got the camera right here, but my chat is over there due to very, very odd circumstances. My Mac is very old, so you have to forgive me. I'm very happy to see Matthew Sable here. He's been such a... He comments all the time. Hang on. Let me do this in real time real quick. Matthew Sable, you comment regularly. And every time that you comment something, I just love it. And it's really helping the community grow, and it's awesome. As soon as I figure out how to operate this device I have. Oh, I see. But there were several of you that people that comment and stuff, and like I've said in numerous videos before, I'm just trying to create this, I don't know, create this community that I mean, we all share, not all of us right now, but we all share sort of a common ground, and that's... Thanks, man. Happy to be here. I'm happy that you're here. There's a few others that I would like to be here too, but if not, that's totally fine. It sort of just happened last minute. But I'm trying to create this little happy Final Fantasy universe, and so far it's working. And actually, later on this month, we're gonna hit our big... It's been 1 year since I uploaded the first video to the channel, so that's super cool. It's growing a lot faster than I thought it would. I honestly thought I would get 100 subs and totally stop, because that's happened 100 times before. Let's go through some notifications real quickly. And I'm seeing Matthew Sable quite a few times. There's a few other ones, and I don't know if they'll show up or not. I hope that they do. But that's totally fine. I knew that the very first live stream would be very shaky, and I imagine the next 14 live streams will be very shaky too. Just because I have no clue as to what I'm doing at all. In the future, I would like to play some Final Fantasy games while I'm talking, and also some non-Final Fantasy games while I'm talking. But that's a whole other setup that I need to have happen. My cats are very awkward and weird. I'm here as a representative of the rest of the lurkers. Great. I'm glad that you're here too. I mean, you figure, what are we sitting at now? The vast majority of the subscribers here are lurkers. 696. And I get roughly 15 or so comments 15 to 20 comments per video. The ratios aren't adding up, but that's, I fully expect that. So to the lurkers, I'm glad that you're here. Level 15 fishing off the hook. Truthfully, Final Fantasy 15 is an elusive one for me. I don't know a whole great deal about it. In truth, I've played a little bit of it, but okay. I'm very old, right? So I tend to hang on to the earlier entries, 1 through 6 specifically. But as I create content for the channel, I'm gonna have to. It's a weird lighting thing. I'm gonna have to branch off and play the later ones also. I'm very old. Watch your tongue, child. Can't help it, man. It's very true. It's very true. Actually, I might try to turn that light off because that's the whole reason it's acting weird, or maybe not. I don't know. I put my head in the way and see if it works. I'm 35. 15 was the first. My wife and I. Oh wow. 15 was the first game that your wife and I played together. That's awesome. I'm very old. Me believing I've identified. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. That's 100% a Dragon Warrior inbox copy in the back. There's no man is the sad part, but that's totally fine. I've got a few inboxes. They're just so darn expensive these days. I don't want to collect something. Mine's sitting on the shelf next to me. Well, next to me. I don't know. It's a wonderful game. It's a fantastic game. The very first Dragon Quest, Dragon Warrior. I still think that the NES version is just a little clunky and slow. But the remastered one for Switch is really fun. But I started I guess, I don't know who knows what, but I started the Final Fantasy series way back in '92 is when I first started playing. And it's hard to believe that it's been 30 years since then. It doesn't feel like 30 years should exist between. This summer it'll be 31 years. And it seems outrageous to me that it's been that long since maybe it's something to do with this light. I don't know. But I played the first 3 Dragon Quests or Dragon Warriors. I've heard 4 is really good. I've heard 5 and 6 are really good. That's a whole series I've not gotten into, sadly. I've played a few of them, but not a whole lot of them. The very first Final Fantasy game I ever played was Final Fantasy 4. And it's off camera, but I've got them framed. The original Super Nintendo carts. I have them framed. And you'll have to forgive me, this Diet Dr. Pepper is fighting back, which is really stupid. But, oh gosh. I was in 6th grade when my Final Fantasy journey started, and 41. I don't mean to make your bones hurt. Comparing the older Final Fantasy games to the scope of the new ones is crazy and nostalgic, seeing how far the series. You're not, good to see you, Rye, by the way. You're not kidding. I kind of would, on one of my very first videos I ever did, I had a side-by-side shot of Final Fantasy 1 and the trailer for 16. And it's pure madness, the difference between the two. And you're right, the series, not only just in the mainline games of 1 through 16, but all of the little side games that we don't really get to. Well, I can't say that, because you got the whatever Curtain Call. You've got all the little fun mobile spin-offs. I think there's a trading card game that I know nothing about. There's so many things that I want to get into, but I just don't know enough, truthfully. Which it seems really silly that you would start a Final Fantasy channel if you don't know everything, but I'm learning the same as everybody else, I suppose. You're 41 now. I will be 38 in October. Phantasy Star was... The very first Phantasy Star was so different from the rest of them, just because of the sort of pseudo 3D dungeon crawling. I love what I've played of Phantasy Star. I haven't played too many of them. I have them all, but you're right, 100%. Phantasy Star was awesome. I really love that series too, what I've played of it. I've heard, which one have I heard is the best one? Either 3 or 4 I've heard is the best one. Trading card game is fun. Is the Final Fantasy trading card game fun? The cards look neat. I've seen a few of the artwork pieces on the cards, and they all look fantastic. Does it play similarly to other sort of trading card games, or is it vastly different? I don't know anything. You just like Stardew Valley. I'm really glad that we started that co-op Stardew Valley account. Some of my favorite FF spin-offs. I don't know that I have made a video on that, Rye. I'm not sure. Favorite Final Fantasy spin-offs. I really love Final Fantasy Adventure for Game Boy. That one's very nostalgic for me. Final Fantasy Adventure. The Final Fantasy Legends series. I liked parts of it, but I also didn't like other parts of it. Oh my gosh. Crystal Chronicles was okay. I can't even... Oh, Tactics. Final Fantasy Tactics. Just a phenomenal... The music, the artwork. They really... Square really took the tactical RPG genre, and I think... I don't know that I want to say they perfected it, but... It's pretty different, I'd say. I mean, it's simple enough for my brain to grasp it. Pretty different. I need to look into it. I'm gonna make a note, because I'll say things like, hey, I'm gonna check that out, and I never will. That's how my brain works. And I don't have a pen. Yes, I do. I lied. I would really like to check it out one time, and maybe I can make some content sort of based on that. Tactics was worthy of being a mainline game. The story was... You're right. The story in the original Tactics was phenomenal. And my cats are running amok, which is lovely. Yeah? I'm taking notes. You'll have to forgive me. The original Tactics, I played through it. I played through it with a Game Shark a century and a half ago, where you could automatically have Cloud in your party, and he's way overpowered, but he's also broken because of Game Shark. He didn't work. There was some command or something that you couldn't use because it would just shut it down completely, and it would glitch out real bad. I can't remember specifically. But yeah, the story in Tactics was great. Tactics Advance was fun. It had its moments. It was super fun. It's so noteworthy of a game. I'm surprised they didn't ride Tactics Cash Cow in this sunset. They kind of, because there's Tactics Advance for Game Boy Advance, and then there's Tactics Advance 2. And then they did the PSP version, the War of the Lions, with a bunch of upgrades. Yeah, you're right. They should have definitely released more. They should have made several. I think Tactics Ogre just got re-released or something recently. I'm kind of surprised they didn't ride that cash cow myself, to be honest with you, because they love riding cash cows all day. Square does. I love you, Square, but you know. For the record, I don't know how long this live stream will be. There's a rumor mill for the re-release remaster of Tactics. Not sure how valid it is. I was just saying that the Tactics Ogre series is sort of had been sort of revived. I'd have been throwing my wallet at the screen if they made more. Yes, Scout is absolutely being very vocal right now. It's my cat Scout. He's a young man going through the throes of adolescence, and he makes it known all day and all night. Tactics looks great. I didn't get into Dirge of Cerberus too much. I played it once or twice, nothing major. I don't know. Oh, what's up, man? I'm glad you're here. I'm so glad you're here. Super cool. That's my cat. Atticus, you're correct. Scout is my. I got Scout from a very young age, specifically from my fiance. And Atticus, my cat is very, very quiet, but he's also brooding in some ways. He likes to hatch plans and then get mad at the outcomes of said hatched plan. He's a very sneaky boy. Where was I at with the spinoffs? You know, I'm not even sure that I know all the spinoffs, if I'm being... Squall... Oh! I don't know, actually. If I had to compare Atticus to Squall or Cloud... These are things you never think of, by the way. Atticus and Scout are great names for cats. Agreed. I've had Atticus for a number of years. I think he'll be 5 this year. And when we got the cat from my fiance Elizabeth, it was actually her idea to keep sort of in the name, and she picked Scout, sort of from the same book series. Squall or Cloud? You've presented me with the situation that I don't like, but I also love it at the same time. Squall or Cloud? Atticus is more... They're both really angsty. Squall is really annoyingly angsty. I guess Cloud is too. But they're both... Can I combine them? Atticus is very claw. Squoud. One of those two. I don't know. Pick your favorite. I'm just making up words as I go. Squoud. What are the cat's favorite Final Fantasy entries? Guess by their personalities. That's fair. I agree. Guess by their personalities. Stranger of Paradise had a level that reminded me of the floating continent from 6. Not sure if it was on purpose, but I loved it. Stranger of Paradise has a lot of really, really small nods and homages to the rest of the series, and I'm going to come back to that. I'm going to answer the which cat likes which Final Fantasy game based on personalities. If Scout had to pick a favorite, Scout's a happy boy, so I don't know. Squall is more introverted while Cloud is trying to be cool. With that bit of information, Squall is more introverted. You're correct. And he doesn't like Cypher. Or he really loves Cypher, one of the two. I would have to go with Squall because you don't... I don't know. I don't want to pick. Squoud. That's what I picked. But if Scout had to pick a favorite Final Fantasy entry, he's very happy, he's very loud. So I guess Final Fantasy 9. Cloud is PTSD. Yes. He's had many things, poor boy, had many things happen to him. Atticus would probably like... I don't know if he would like any of them. He might just sit and like, what... Atticus would be Cloud because he doesn't care. But he does a little. He does enough to do something, but doesn't really care much at all. Similarly to the relationship between Cloud and Barrett in 7, where Barrett's like, we gotta save the planet. Cloud's like, I don't care. Am I getting paid today? That's Atticus 100%. But yeah, Stranger of Paradise, to go back. Stranger of Paradise, so parts. Yeah, maybe so. Stranger of Paradise, if you listen to, I forget what level it is or what stage it is. There's a bit in Stranger of Paradise where the music, you can hear all sorts of Final Fantasy IV references in the music of Stranger of Paradise. And I kept catching it here and there, but I couldn't place it. I couldn't say definitively, like, oh, that was the music from such and such a thing until later on. But there's music, and again, I can't remember what level it is, but there was music from the Tower of Babel, like interstitched into this modern music. It was super neat, and I really love to explore that game even more than I already have. I forget how many hours I've got put into it so far. Choosing Bart's. Yeah. I would love to see my cats riding on a chocobo through a forest. That would be... I don't know how well that would go. My cats are funny creatures. That was a really good question. If I had to pick my cat's favorite Final Fantasy entries... If Final Fantasy didn't exist, is there another game that you would have as much love for? The Resident Evil series. The Resident Evil series I adore. So, specifically the Final Fantasy, or not Final Fantasy, the Resident Evil 2 remake. When that game came out, I was blown away. Like they sort of time you and base you how good you did based off of how long it took for you to beat the game. And I think I spent my very first time running through it, I think took 20 hours just because I wanted to explore every little thing that it had to offer. The Resident Evil series is huge to me. But if I had to pick one specific game that I would have just as much love for, Chrono Trigger or Secret of Mana. The original Aladdin for Super Nintendo, I love that game. I feel it's much more superior than... Does DMC1 count as red? That's not up to me to decide. You tell me. You tell me if DMC1 counts as an RE game. Because weren't they making an RE game and it just happened to transform into DMC? Maybe I read that somewhere and it was wrong. The very first Devil May Cry was super fun. I mean, yeah, it kind of does. DMC was RE2. Is that what it is? I can't remember. DMC's super fun. I kind of vaguely got interested in it for a couple of years. I've got one of the newer ones, but I don't know which one. I don't know. I don't know what I got and what I don't. But other games, Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana, any of the Mario Karts. I love Mario Karts a lot. But I wouldn't put as much time into Mario Kart that I would the Final Fantasy series. I can't see playing Mario Kart. Well, maybe I could play it online or something. Oh, what other games do I love? I love a lot. I really love the Mario series. Like Mario Odyssey was super fun. It had a few issues, but Mario Odyssey was ultra fun. Mario Kart 8 is baller. You are correct. Is it the deluxe version that's on Switch right now? Was expecting Ease. Okay. I'm so happy that you've said the E series. I've got it back there. I don't know if you can see it or not. Oh no, because I've got it switched around. The E series is phenomenal. It's a lesser known RPG series, I think. I could be wrong now. I love Ease books 1 and 2. Or the whatever one is on Steam now. I forget what it's called. Ease books 1 and 2 are fantastic. Ease Origin is really good. That's tricky because Kingdom Hearts, Mana Series, Saga, Romance, a few others won't exist. Yeah, it's a tricky one. Do I have any love for Zelda? I've got tons of love for Zelda. If so, traditional 2D or 3D. Oh boy. Debate of the ages. Man. Yeah, I love Zelda. Right next to me, I've actually got a Breath of the Wild poster. But if I had to go 2D or 3D, A Link to the Past is 2D, so I have to go with that. A Link to the Past, A Link Between Worlds, Link's Awakening, fantastic, yeah. Link's Awakening was really good. Both the original Game Boy game and the Switch remake are great. I tell you what I didn't like about the Switch remake though was the dungeon maker thing. I thought it was going to be much more fun than what it was. Because it's sort of, I don't know, Dampy's just in there and he's like, you have to create this dungeon specifically to these coordinates and you can't deviate very much from it. It's past my bedtime here. You're in Germany? Oh man. That's fantastic. Yeah, dude, get some rest. I'll be doing these streams much earlier than I did today. It was a weird day. But yeah, next Sunday, I'll be earlier. I'm so glad that you showed up, though. Have a great sleep. Sleep the best that you can possibly sleep in Germany. I've never been. I do have a hand-drawn Zelda map. Fantastic. Oh, you want to see it? I'll have to dig for it. Wait, I've got it right here. Oh no, do I not have it right here? Did I lie to everybody? It's in a binder. Sleep well, my friend. Have a good night. Have a good night. I've got it in a binder. Give me 1 second. Footage or it didn't happen. Get out of town. My hand-drawn Zelda map. It's actually the full walkthrough. Oh, it's right here. I call it a 1-page walkthrough. Hand-drawn Zelda map. I don't know if it's reversed or not, but with all the objectives and all the locations. But that's that. So yeah, Elizabeth, thank you for bringing that up. I totally forgot about it. Yeah, so you don't need, thank you. You don't need anything else except for that one sheet of paper, and it'll get you all the way through the very first Zelda. I did it screen by screen. Yeah, the very first Zelda, yeah. I did it screen by screen while I was playing it, and it took forever, but it was super fun. You know all the secrets? I know. It's a little scary to have you on the other side of this whole operation. It's, yeah, I don't know. I definitely couldn't do any other Zelda like that. Maybe Zelda 2, no, there's so many little extras. I would have to have like a side-scrolling section for the battles and whatever. Or the bridge section where all the random fireballs are being... Super Dad's here! The stream's going great, my friend. How are you? I got indigestion, apparently. Stream's going super good. I've been asked a number of questions that I still really don't have answers for, like which Final Fantasy entries do my cats love? Other Zelda games. Yeah, I would have to go 2D. I would have to go 2D versus 3D. Ocarina was okay. Ocarina was pretty good. Majora's Mask was pretty good. Breath of the Wild is amazing, but like I said, Link to the Past, Link's Awakening, those are my all-time favorites. And then the Ys series was brought up. I love the Ys series. I would like to go back and play, because I've never played it, but the Oath and Felghana. I would love to play that Ys game. There's several I haven't seen. I don't have any, like... Link to the Past was my first. Either Link to the Past was my first, or... Oh gosh. Or the very first Zelda was my first. I seem to think it's Link to the Past, but maybe I'm wrong. Link Between Worlds is incredibly good. Oh, by the way, everybody who watches the channel regularly, Super Dad is, I don't know, should I... Super Dad, can I reveal? You know what I'm talking about. I don't want to say too much. It's a big reveal. It's a big moment. I'll wait. I'll wait a bit until I see your confirmation that I can reveal. Dude, I don't care. Okay, so, cool. Super Dad, who you can see in the chat right now, is my cousin Adam that I've talked about across many, many videos. The one that introduced me to the series and pretty much started this channel. Or got me to start this channel in a very indirect but direct kind of way. So that's super cool. I'm glad that you're here. Other games that I love. It's pretty much for a long time I got all of my video game stuff through Adam. Cousin Adam is a G. He absolutely is a G. He's the G'est of G's. I don't even know what that means, but that's what it is. Other games. I love fighting games also. Mortal Kombat to me is really fun. I actually really loved the N64 War Gods. I actually really loved it. It was awful. I was always Kabuki Joe. Mario RPG. Oh man, how could I forget Mario RPG? And any of the Paper Mario games. Thousand Year Door being the main one. Yeah, Mario RPG is fantastic. Just beat Final Fantasy VIII last week. How was it? How was it for you, Final Fantasy VIII? Tell me all the things for the first time. Leonard let me borrow it when we were kids. Mario RPG. Great game. I actually didn't beat it until I was in my 30s, I think. You loved it? Was it? I've heard it's very different, but in a very good way. I've heard it's insanely different in almost like a time travel-y sort of way. I've said in a video I wanted like an abridged version of it, and I still want that. Oh, is it fairly experimental? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the experiments. Final Fantasy II, I feel, was experimental also. It's not beginner. That's probably why I'm awful at it. Every time I play it, I can never seem to grasp it. But I also don't put as much time into it that I normally would. Chrono Trigger. Once you get it, it's fun. I like FF2. I didn't like Final Fantasy II as evidenced by the many times I've thrown Final Fantasy II into the trash in this channel. I didn't like Final Fantasy II until the Pixel remasters, and now I love it. It took many years for me to get past, I guess, the gameplay mechanics of having to fight a bunch in order to level up your weapon. Once you look past that, the story's pretty solid for that early of a Final Fantasy game. The music is top-notch, as it always is. It's a great game. You just got to really give it a shot. And that was my problem. Which one did you play? Babe, you played Final Fantasy 12 years ago. Whenever I first met Elizabeth, she said, I played one Final Fantasy game, whichever one had the big tomato. I was like, I believe that's 12. I can be vastly wrong. I've been wrong before. I love the Final Fantasy 2 overworld theme. I don't know if I talked about it or not. The overworld theme for Final Fantasy 2, you expect it to be heroic. Like in Final Fantasy 1, it's very sort of marchy and we're off to fight Garland. But the overworld theme in Final Fantasy 2 is very sort of, we've been defeated. We're very sort of forlorn and sad, and like our hometown's been taken. And the music reflects that. Instead of being heroic, you're not on a journey. You're like, I don't know, you've sort of got your tail between your legs, and you're in a different part of the world, I guess. It's brilliant. Brilliantly crafted. All the music is, but the overworld theme is really good. And also, Pandemonium's music is really good, too. I'll bump that any day. In any vehicle. Whatever vehicle I can drive, I'll play it. But I can't talk about soundtracks without mentioning Mystic Quest. I absolutely love Mystic Quests. I should have named that in the Final Fantasy spin-offs. The issue with 2 is that people try to go out of their way to grind. Yes, and actually that's partially because somebody commented the other day and said something about Final Fantasy 2. I gotta find it. Anyway, somebody said that in Final Fantasy 2, some walkthrough told them to grind for 10 hours, and then they can go complete the game. And it's like that's turning off players, and they're not gonna want to grind for 10 hours before they can start the game. It's a natural. It very much is a natural progression. Mystic Quest music is the best part of the game. Yeah, I don't know. I like how the enemies sort of break down as you kill them. That's always very neat. But in Mystic Quest, the Bone Dungeon is my all-time favorite music out of that game. The battle music's pretty good too. Mystic Quest soundtrack slaps hard. It does. I don't know why it's universally panned. Man, as I said in my video talking about Mystic Quest, I'm an advocate for it. Like, I love it. It wants to be this grand adventure, but it isn't. Tristan was awesome, and I'm still gonna make a video on what happens if you actually have the money that he wants or whoever wants. Fantastic. Mystic Quest is up there for me. I'm a huge fan. I think it's a game that everybody hates, and I don't think that it's fair. But I mean, I'm not gonna try to make you like it. You like what you like. I don't care. Final Fantasy 12, going back to that, I put 24 hours into it, and I still didn't care. Anyway, 8 is my third favorite. What's your first two favorites? I believe I've asked you this before, but maybe I didn't. 8 is my third favorite. What's my third favorite? Final Fantasy 6 is number 1 for me always. I don't know. I don't have an answer to that question. I've never listed them in any sort of way. I don't know why I haven't. 6 and 10. Of course 6. It's fantastic. Oh, 10's really good too. Man, I don't know. So 6, 10, and 8 for you. I don't hate it. It's more like a toy I had as a child. I admire the memories, but I'm not... Yeah. I mean... As I've said before, it's very much of its time. It's made for kids in the 90s, and it's very obvious that it is. But I don't know. I mean, it's fun. It's a fun romp, and if you're not well versed in RPGs, I don't really know that it helps, if I'm honest. But it's fun. It's a fun little romp. 6, 10, and 8. What's your fourth favorite? Where's Final Fantasy 4 rank in your list? I'd like to know. And Adam, what's your top 3? Let's get some top 3s going. I'm curious. I'm curious to know top 3 favorite Final Fantasies. I'm gonna think of mine too, and we're gonna compare notes, like a classroom, sort of. Everybody, get out your pens and papers. I don't have a top 3. What's my least? Oh, Matthew Stables is 6, 4, and 7. Wow. 6, 4, and 7. 6, 4, and 7. I'm really glad that there's such a big audience for Final Fantasy 6. I feel like I'm often the odd man out because I love 6 more than I love 7. But that seems to be the case across the board now that I'm seeing it. 6 is a literal masterpiece. My friend, truer words have never been spoken. Beginning to end, the game is just fantastic. Least favorite Final Fantasy game. It was 2 for the longest time. Are we talking mainline with spin-offs? 6, 9, and 4. 9 is very special to me in the way that came out when I was sort of hitting, like, adolescent ages. And so it felt as if that game sort of was set and made specifically for people in that age range. There's a lot of, whenever you get to that point in your life, you're sort of starting to wonder about the weird stuff and, all the existential stuff. And then Vivi from Final Fantasy 9 is existential mania. He's all about it. What's my purpose and all this stuff. And so, I don't know. I love that game. Matthew Sable says, "Bro, I found your channel because I'm obsessed with 6, and I went going for targeted content." I'm glad you did. I'm glad that you found the channel. I'm glad everybody found the channel that's here. Because I mean, like I stated earlier, not only in other videos but in this stream, I never expected to have anywhere close to. I mean, we're almost at 700 subs, and I don't know how to act. My order is 6, 10, 8, 12, 15, 14, 5, 3, 7, 1, 2, 4. Wow. You've put thought into this. Hold on. You've put thought into this. I need to play 9, and I'm not touching 11. I never got into 11. I never got into 11 because at the time, I never had anything that could run 11. 13's behind 7 for you. Vivi becomes my favorite character in the game. They put Vivi in 14? That's another game I need to play. I'm a bit late. Hey, and you made it, and that's all that matters. I'm super glad that you're here. I'm super glad everybody's here that said they would or didn't say anything. I'm just glad people are showing up. That's nice. I didn't know they put Vivi in 14. That's amazing. I know that 14 has a ton of references and all sorts of Final Fantasy references and from games past. I do not have a running list like you have as far as started Returners Guild in 14. Oh man. Holy shnikes. I might actually do that. If there's not one already, I would love to. I don't want to be a copycat, but again, I'm taking notes. That would be fantastic if I started a guild that's Returners. Oh man, so many good ideas. And so little time to do those ideas. Please check and please let me know. I would love to do that. I'm gonna have to get well versed in the game first because I have no clue what I'm doing. I played Final Fantasy XIV when Elizabeth and I first met. I was playing it then. And I believe the first time we ever hung out, that's what I was playing. And I said, you're going to have to sit and watch me play this game. I can't remember how long I played it for. I'd reinstall it if you did. Man, I don't... I call myself Bannon. I'm no Bannon. I don't know if I'm alive or dead if I'm Bannon. Are you an attacker, defender? Me, myself, I'm more of a DPS kind of fellow. If I had to choose that. Not really an attacker, but I prefer DPS whenever I play those sort of roles. Like, whenever I played 14 the last time, I was a Dragoon, and I loved it. I loved it. Bannon, I don't know. I still get comments. About people's like thoughts on where Bannon is. Yeah, I'm super glad you're tank. We all need a tank. I love DPS, but you don't have a tank. You don't have much of anything. Well, you got DPS and you got a healer. My mom just rolled her eyes and said she used to have to watch my dad and uncle play Mario. I mean, of course. I mean, that's regular Nintendo Mario is people are still trying to beat it faster than they ever did today. I think very recently there was a new record broken for Mario 1. But anyway, I get comments still to this day about what they believe happened to Bannon. Some people are a little more forceful about what they believe. Like, there's no other explanation than Bannon died in Vector, and this is the way it is, and your theory is garbage. I don't believe my theory is garbage, by the way. I think my theory is well thought out, well laid out, or else I wouldn't have uploaded it, but to each their own. We can answer those questions if Bannon is leave. That's very true. It's very true. I guess, I don't know. I suppose if I had to be Bannon in order to lead the Returners, then I'll take that role. Can we make Bannon not my name, but more so my job? Like, oh, Lenard, he's a Bannon. It sounds dumb. Don't do that. There is no Returners Hideout in 14. Well, there's about to be. I'm glad you reported back. That's fantastic. There's finna be one, and just hold on to your pants, horses, whatever you hang on to. Because there's about to be. I have to learn the game first and refigure out what I'm doing. I did try to recently do the free 14-day thing, and it didn't work out very well. Hi, how's it going? My friend, it's going very well. I'm glad that you showed up to the stream. That's fantastic. How's your day, night, afternoon going? I had a fellow from Germany here. That's super cool. I'm glad he showed up. That was nice. He or she. Or they. I don't know. It's going pretty well. It's going very well for me, I think. It was very shaky. 6 p.m. here. Here too. That's weird. The beginning was super shaky because I had no clue what I was doing. And that pretty much sums everything up. I never know what I'm doing at any given time. I'll admit it. I own up to it. 6 p.m. Because it's 6 p.m. where I am. But that covers that time zone covers a pretty big area. So I don't know, maybe you're still talk about Moogles, or however you spell it. That's my fiance, by the way. Moogles. What do you want me to talk about Moogles about? I could talk about Moogles any day. They serve many different roles in the game. How darn cute they are. You're correct. Some of them look, I don't know. Some of them are a little funny looking. I suppose they're all cute in their own special way. I don't know that. I guess my favorite Moogle is the God of Fantasy. Or Sid. I don't know, Sid. They look creepy in the MMO. Do they? Are we talking 11 or are we talking 14? That Moogles look creepy in. I'm very curious. Or said bring back Mog as a playable character. I fully agree with that statement about having Mog come back. Mog was a powerhouse. He had good strength. He had good magic stats. Just a good all-arounder. And plus you could steal the Mithril spear really early in 6 and give it to whoever. Edgar, probably. Mog as a playable character. I wish Mog was in every one of them. So maybe you're right about Moogles being the gods of Final Fantasy series. Water Rondo. That dance irritated me. Because you have to go halfway around the world without an airship or whatever. You have to do the Barren Falls all over again. I didn't like it. But I got it every time. What's the other one? Dungeon Beast? I can't remember. I don't know what it's called. The dust one. Oh, it's gonna bother me. I can't think of what it is. Storm? I don't know. You're gonna have to answer because I don't know. Water Rondo is super fun. What is the love one also? Dust Requiem. Yes, that's what it is. What is Mog dances love something? Google doesn't know what I'm saying. Google thinks I'm a crazy man from the things that I Google randomly. And that's fine. Dusk Requiem. Dusk Requiem. You're correct. That's what it's called. The very first one you ever learn. And it has the, what is it? The ones that make the boulders fall from the sky or something. And then there's the forest one too that gives you like all these wind abilities, which is awesome. I could talk about 6 all day. I love 6. From the bottom of my everything, I love 6. Moogles are the god of Final Fantasy. I might be specifically referring to Mog if I'm going to make a statement like that. Mog is very much just like I said before, just an absolute powerhouse. And Moogles were intended to be in Final Fantasy 2, but they got cut for beavers last second. Moogles are much better than beavers will ever be. But I digress. I don't have anything else to say about beavers versus Moogles. What is your opinion on the opera? How it relates to 15? I don't. 6 is my favorite, not 7. You're correct. We have this discussion all the time. That my fiance randomly thinks that 7's my favorite. But it's 6. My opinion on the opera and how it relates to 15. I don't know how to answer that question. There are theories that 15 is the opera. Oh! Are there? I did not know of these theories. I that blows me away. I'm sitting here. I'm gonna have to play it. That's it. I'm gonna have to really go through it. If they say that the opera scene in 6 is 15, if there are theories about that, I'm gonna have to check that. Yeah, it blew me away with that. Totally blew me away with that. That would be awesome. 15 does have Magitech armor everywhere. Well, that's another reason for me to check it out. Magitech armor. I can't spell. That's fantastic. The way that 15 has been described to me is, it's good, but, and that's all I ever heard. And I haven't really had an opportunity to dive into it like I normally do. Just because I go through the first 6 of them and try to squeeze it dry of every theory I can come up with. Hence, you get weird things like Gogo is Realm's stepmother. I don't know. I got weird theories all the time. I'm gonna have to play 15 now. Period. It's not gonna be the next one I play, but definitely up there. And I don't even know what to think about. I like 15. I never thought about the connections to 6. I'm glad somebody else thought about that, because that crappy development, is that the one that went through, oh, what was it, 2 or 3 years of awful development? I heard something about that. I don't know much. And usually I can make sort of connections like that between Final Fantasy games. But I didn't play 15 to make those connections. Nomura is amazing. Nomura is amazing. You're correct, but he's an artist that needs to be watched. I can say that about lots of developers from that. Because every name has escaped me at the moment because I'm on stream now. And I can't think properly. 10 years of development. That's right. They were doing that Crystallis something mythos of the crystal, and they announced like 14 games at the same time. Thoughts on Spirits Within? My thoughts on Spirits Within, I went back and I watched it maybe 3 months ago or so. My thoughts on Spirits Within are very sparse. I think it's I don't even know what to say. I don't think that it's a bad movie. It's not like an amazing movie. I just think Sakaguchi didn't realize what goes into movie making. Because he just pumped all this money into it. And they wanted, oh, I forget now. I know that they wanted the main character to be, they wanted Aki to be the main character of many things in many movies. But people hated the movie, so that never happened. I don't think it's a terrible movie. I don't want to say it was an ungraceful movie either. It's kind of confusing at some points. I just have to go back and watch it again. It's been a few months. Final Fantasy is long-form storytelling at its best. I have to agree. Not so much 2-hour movies. Yeah. I thought it was a slow movie and they just slap FF on it and try to get fans. That's almost how it felt. It, like, if you took the Spirits Within and gave it any other name, or just take off the Final Fantasy bit, like you just said. Like if it was Last Hope for Plants, then it would have been a little different. It would have been WALL-E, but with people. But it's okay. It is a very slow movie. Like you just said, it is very slow. However, I did go back and watch Advent Children again recently, and I don't know about it. when it first came out, when Advent Children first came out, I was obsessed with it. I was like, this is the best thing ever. But watching it years later, I don't know about it. There's not really much of a plot. But let me watch it again before I really say anything. My favorite character overall. Ooh. I used to get in trouble daily my freshman year. Playing the laughing ha 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 just for 10 hours. Oh my gosh, that is the best. Blah, blah, blah. I can't read apparently. Long form strength. Yeah. Are you talking about the trails? Are you saying trails or trials? Or Tales? Because the Tales series is really good. Like the Tales of insert thing here. Yeah. And the fight scenes in Advent Children were like super fast paced, like Dragon Ball Z, except it didn't take as long. And they're up in the air, and now they're diving back to the ground. Watch out for the meteor statue. Okay, cool. I got to see Red 13 and, like, weird trailers from the sky. Cold Steel 11 games. 11 games spanning 3 to 5 years? Well, I'm going to write that down, too. I don't know, it doesn't directly relate to me and my channel, but that sounds neat. 11 games spanning 3 to 5 years. That sounds supremely interesting. I love that sort of thing. If it's pulled off right, because you could definitely mess that up. If it was, I don't know who it was developed by, but you can absolutely mess that up, and it would be terrible. But it sounds like they did it well. And yes, Advent Children, I felt like all of the silver-haired people, I don't know really why they were there in the first place, and maybe I missed something watching it recently. But like Cloud is, in that movie, Cloud is really, it seems like every response from Cloud is like, and that was Orin, but it doesn't like, I don't know. He's always been sort of whiny, I guess, Cloud has, but anytime anything sort of happens, he's like, I'm going to get on my motorcycle and just ride across the country. Reunion. Whenever I read that, I thought you were talking about Rebirth, the second part to the 7 remake. But what is it? I don't know. I must be missing something. But I also passively watch movies. Gotta finish dinner, can't wait to see more content. I'm working on it very slowly over time. Actually, tomorrow I'm starting to really work on it. But I hope you have fantastic dinner. Thanks for stopping by. That was super nice. I'm glad that you were here for the very first shaky live stream. Fantastic. Everybody say bye to Adam. He's the one that got me into the series. Just say bye, Super Dad. Bye, Super Dad. I think Cloud isn't a bad character. Just think he lacks in some areas. Yeah. Yes, you did start this. I'm not. Yeah, I'm pretty modest. I can be. I don't know. I don't like to. You're legitimately I can't speak either. You're legitimately the one that got me into the series. I would have never heard of it otherwise. Especially from that age. But anyway, have a fantastic dinner. Tell everyone I said hi and that I love them. And we'll talk soon. Man, everybody really said bye. That was awesome. That was super cool. Yeah, Cloud's not a bad character. I think they wanted, in my honest opinion, I think Square really wanted Cloud to be this ultra deep character, and I guess he kind of is in some ways. But they made him a little too sort of, I don't know, I don't want to say too deep. But I don't know, they seem to give him more problems by making him deeper. like this really thoughtful character that he's really out for himself, but he loves everybody truthfully, but we don't talk about that. Tifa knows. Tifa knows how Cloud really is. But I don't know though. You got to be of a certain type of character to dress up like a. Yeah, he absolutely. It really goes edgy. But he puts on a dress and goes. Just a wild man in order to save somebody. So I mean that's neat. That's why I prefer Squall. Squall's very whiny too, I feel like. There's a whole thing of I almost did a video on it. There's a whole thing about Squall and Renoa, not Renoa. Quisi's being super in love with Squall, and they're close in age, so it would have worked. But like, she's a teacher. I think that's been a theory for a long time, if not proven completely at this point. But I almost did a video on that, but I decided not to. Quisi's a very interesting character, but Squall is very whiny and I don't know. So is Cypher, and Cypher's supposed to be the older one. But Cypher's just very mad at everything, and Zell just doesn't care. He just wants hot dogs. I kind of relate to Zell in that way. I don't know who I connect with more. I feel like Squall's whiny portions. You may be right about that being inner monologue. I wish I could have stayed longer. Blah blah blah. D&D night. Fantastic. Have fun with the rest of your stream. I'll try to make you. It'll be next week. It'll be earlier. A couple of hours earlier than today was. Today was weird. Have fun with D&D night. Man, that sounds awesome. Elizabeth and I have Stardew Valley night. That's what we're going to start doing. Stardew Valley night, where we have a cooperative farm. I will have fun with the rest of the show. Actually, the stream's about to be stopped here in a second. I was very much an introvert, was distant but wanted people. Yes, and I'm still very much the same way. To go along with your point about being an introvert, I'm very much the same way where I don't want to be around people, but I want people to be around me. And that's such a weird juxtaposition to be in, because you love these people and you want to show them that you love them, but you don't want them around. And it's so strange. And to this day, I went to, I don't want to say, but I went to my brother's memorial service last night. And it was that same idea of, I love all these people, but man, I've got to just step away for a while and just be in a room by myself for a little while. So I totally get that. And I guess in that, I don't know, in that kind of way, I guess Squall kind of fits. Most people don't understand Squall, and it's understandable, but it's huge. Yeah, it is a huge oxymoron. I agree. Because, never mind. I was going to say this whole thing. My friends call it cat mode. I want people around, but always on my own terms. It's a complicated emotion. It is! And cat mode's very accurate. I have 2 of them. Well, I've got one. My fiance has the other one. Elizabeth has Scout. I've got Atticus. And Scout's a handful. Scout is a gigantic handful. But, yeah, I totally get that cat mode, as you said. It's super complicated and it's super weird, and you don't want to seem like your brain's weird, and you get almost embarrassed by the fact that your brain works differently than other people's. And so there is this like frustration, but there's also this embarrassment, and then you're frustrated that you're embarrassed, and then you just want to be happy, and you're like, why am I like this? I just want to be normal. And I guess parts of me thinks that Cloud is sort of the same way too, but very much Squall. And I can't really think of anybody else who... Shadow from Final Fantasy VI might fit that bill too. But maybe I'm wrong. Shadow's a weird enigma anyway. But I might actually... You do love your friends. You just want to just, I don't feel like talking, but 100%. I don't feel like talking, but I do want you here. Yes. Oftentimes, it's so strange. I think Shadow just has regrets. Lots of them. Shadow has, I mean, I think that's his entire life. It's just a bunch of regrets. Maybe. I think when it comes to Realm, for sure, a lot of regrets. And maybe even Baram, to a degree, might have a lot of regrets with that too. But Matthew, to go along with what you were saying, I really find myself just, sometimes I'll just sit on a couch and like Elizabeth will be in the room with me and I don't talk much. I just sort of exist and I work on things and then I'll sort of quietly move around and I don't know. It's a really strange, our brains are funky sometimes and that's just okay. And that's the truth of it. Like, I don't want anybody to feel like they have to be a certain way. Like, be you. Whatever that means. Figure out what it means to be you and then just do it. With Squall, he obviously cares for friends, but cannot express it. If he didn't like him, he would leave. You're probably right. I mean, you recently beat it. You know more than I do. Do you find yourself very similar? I think you said it earlier that you find yourself sort of very similar to Squall. I love this, by the way. I love that, like, everybody here is like, I personally connect with these characters from the series because of this reason or that reason. That's fantastic. I love this. This is awesome. I should have started live streaming months ago. And I almost didn't do it today due to circumstances. But listen, I am going to end the stream here. But we will 100% talk a week from today. And, wow. I honestly thought I would show up and like 2 people would say hey. And then that would just be it. And I would just be in this empty room. But there was lots of chat. There was lots of talking. And I have a giant Final Fantasy 6 keychain, the Amano logo. Oh, fantastic. My ringtone is Kefka's laugh. Awesome. It was fun. Have a good evening. I will, Matthew Sable. You have a fantastic evening as well. And yeah, I'm going to absolutely end the live stream here. But I really thought it was going to be an empty room and I was just going to talk into nothingness and that was just going to be it. So thanks for everybody who showed up, whether you were here for 10 seconds or the whole time. It was awesome. But that's I'm glad you made it too. We've talked off of YouTube before. Glad I made it for the first live stream. Thanks for doing it. You don't have to thank me for doing this. Thank you for showing up. You're the one that showed up and started talking to me. I didn't do anything. I just hit a button and hoped for the best. I didn't do jack. You did it all. You guys did everything. With the channel and with the live stream. So thank you guys for everything. Because this is fantastic. But anyway, yes, I'm going to go, and that's going to be that. We did it! We did it! But yes, I'll be back here next Sunday at 2 p.m. Central Time versus the 5-something that was today. But thank you guys for showing up. It's fantastic. And I'm getting a phone call anyway, so love y'all. I don't know how to end it, but we're going to try.